This just happened further to Facebook censoring the Emily Jane's Trio songs, culture artists, by muting them claiming copyright, even though Emily James has put in no copyright claims and they're selling songs through culture. The Anglican Church in Hawthorne, where we were going to perform, and we've been rehearsing the play Adrifting, which is on April the 14th, have cancelled us. Non-negotiable. They hope we understand, but that's it. So they said they've gone through their policy and upgraded their public liability insurance, and we can't, so we're cancelled. Funnily enough, we have full public liability of our own, and they know that. So there you go. The Anglican Church is cancelling our theatre, our plays, and Facebook is cancelling our songs. This is your art, people. These are your artists. So we're looking for an alternative venue. The way you fight back is buy the songs, come and see the plays. Show the powers that be that you want your artists to be free.
You clearly stated, don't ask you for money.
That's right.
Then what are you talking about? Because money is the only thing that can rescue us.
When the world went into lockdown, I was camping on a remote beach, so I decided to stay there. And every time I went for a walk, the ocean just broke my heart. For every washed up shell, there were 3 or 4 pieces of plastic, and they weren't left there by the tourists. Oh no, thanks to COVID, there were no tourists. This was from the ocean. This was from the world. Out there were billions of ignorant people filling their bins, and the tide was vomiting their contents here.
What on earth are you talking about?
The end of the world.
I'm about to lose my house. I don't care about the end of the world.
How old are you now?
Old. And before you start the interrogation, I've got no job, no girlfriend, and I'm still a virgin. But I'm on antidepressants, which makes me immune to external disappointments.
You're clever. Good. Now, why don't you have a girlfriend?
Because Uber Eats doesn't deliver them. And I don't leave the house much.
How much is not much?
Last week, I had a date with Centrelink. I was hoping to get laid, but instead they just fucked me.
All the proceeds to charity.
Nearly all, yes.
And now you want me to come away with you to some hippie festival?
Yes.
Are you on drugs?
Only one, and it's called life.
Which charity?
Come away with me.
Which charity?
Come away with me and I will show you everything.
You and me, locked in that van? That's as mad as your other story.
I know, but do it anyway, please.
I am about to lose my house. So I don't feel like tie-dyeing t-shirts in Bort with the world's newest and oldest hippie. Oh, yes, you can. You see, I know this might sound crazy to you, but this is what good parents do.
No, you see, I can't because there is no money.
Enough! Like it or not, you're going to help me because I am not losing my house.
Why? What's so special about it? Oh, and that street. Have you taken the time to actually look at it? It's suffocating because it just reeks of dead dreams.
Give me my money.
Last night I discovered my true love. I had it delivered to my door. I asked, will you stay with me through thick and thin? They said, we don't guarantees anymore. Cause we're drifting through our generation. Our GPS says, who the hell knows? We're drifting through our generation. We're gonna see when nowhere goes. to the beam of you. I just hope that you still know the way, 'cause we're drifting through our generation. If I slow down for you, will you slow down for me? We're drifting through our generation. So how about we see if love knows which way to go?
G'day, freedom lovers. How are we all out there today?
Well, it's an interesting day.
It has been. So, perhaps we should start by maybe Michael explaining what it was we just saw.
Actually, before that, I think I'd like to start with a big hello to Robyn from Courage is the Cure. She's in hospital. She's getting CAT scans done. She's been very, very unwell. And we just want to let her know that we love her and our thoughts are with her. And she won't be doing a show Monday. She's too sick. But she's incredibly brave, wonderful, nurturing, funny. Anyway, I just love her to bits. And so for everyone there, if you want to get on and just send her a get well thing or something like that, please do so. And we hope she gets better soon. What you just saw was my play, Adrifting. And it's we're going to start it on April. It was the play that COVID shut down. And we're going to start it again on Valentine's Day in Hawthorne in a church hall where we used to rehearse all the time. And suddenly, even though we're only 11 days away from there and we're booked in, we got this email today stating that they've had a big it was something about re-looking at their insurance, their public liability insurance, and they have to cancel us. They use the word cancel. They have to cancel our performance, non-negotiable, and they hope we understand, and we're not allowed to rehearse there or anything. Basically, we're gone. And the thing is, we have full public liability because we used to tour players around, so we have it. That's one of the things we have is we always have it. So fully paid up. They know that, they've seen it. So they're just basically canceling us. They don't want us there. And I wanted to show those bits from the play to show that this is just a play about people. It's very funny. It's very moving. That's all it is. It's not a start a revolution play or anything like that. But obviously they know our stance. And we might as well be Jews trying to put on Fiddler in the Roof in pre-war Nazi Germany.
As time rolls on, it starts to feel more and more like it's, that mid to late 1930s period in Germany.
Yeah.
Socialism's on the rise. The hate for the Jews is on the rise. It's just, wow. I
feel
really
like I'm going up to Goebbels' office and saying, can I put this poster of Fiddler on the Roof on your door, Mr. Goebbels?
So did you actually speak to anyone, though? Well, did somebody speak to you, or has this just all been done via email?
No, it just, I actually have a good relationship with the guy that runs it. And no, this just came out of the blue. And it literally came a few hours after we found that Facebook was muting on your show. I got called. Actually, muting the Emily James Trio songs, claiming copyright, even though they have a non-exclusive agreement to for us to use their songs with the culture artists. They're culture artists, which we've started, and in fact, they're our number one seller. They're on the charts, the culture charts. They're number one. And with no, don't welcome me to my own country. And we called Emily today, and she said, no, they haven't put in a copyright claim at all. So it's just a bogus claim to shut down Australian artists who are actually just challenging the fascist state of quo.
If I may, I might enlighten the viewers as to what transpired today. I've got some screenshots of what I seen. This is what come up when I got the notification, and straight away we can identify some rather ambiguous language here. The following actions were applied to your video because it may contain 53 minutes and 22 seconds of audio they own. So we're not even saying who owns it. We're not saying whether it does or doesn't, but they were also very specific about 53 minutes and 22 seconds of audio. Now, I selected all 5 of those tracks and, got the time signature off them, and it was more like 16 minutes worth of actual audio tracks. So I'm not sure where they got that 53 minutes and 22 seconds from. But the funny thing was they only got rid of 4 out of the 5 songs. The last song was still played. As I go through this post, the sequence of events, I continue on, and this is what comes up on the next screen. And again, you'll notice that submit a dispute is grayed out. So there was no ability. It's like salt in the wound, rubbing my nose in it to say, well, we could give you the opportunity to submit a dispute, but we're not going to. My options: accept the change or remove the video. I'm like, fine, I'll accept the changes just to see what goes on, because obviously I can't submit a dispute. So I move on to the third sequence, and here we are, the action, again, ambiguous language because it may contain someone else's content. And if you are a naughty boy and violate copyright again, your ability to post content may be restricted or your account may be disabled, which leaves one to wonder, is that the overall intention, is to just use ridiculous shit like this to shut us down? But it goes further, because then, as Facebook users would know, you go to the, little right-hand corner logo where your face is, or whatever logo you've put there, and drop down, and you can make a comment, or a suggestion, or submit something that's gone wrong. It didn't matter which way I went about it. I couldn't actually click the submit button. So I couldn't even go about making a complaint via another avenue.
This is the Kafkaesque world that they want for us. No right of appeal. No, they think they can do whatever they want, and it's this is a way of they want to control. It seems like they want to control our very thoughts.
Yeah, and our art. And now the thing is, with culture now, instead of just us having a whine about it, and maybe sharing this, and I'm telling you, if you share it, no one will see your share, because if you see it, you might have 100 shares or 1,000 shares sometimes if you get lucky, and then you look at you go to their page where they've shared it, there's no likes, nothing, which seems bizarre that someone, and so what we've offered you with culture now is a way to fight back. You can actually go to cafelockedout.com, culture, and then follow the prompts, and you can support these artists by buying their songs. So they've been going for about 3 months, the Emily Jane's Trio. And since last Sunday, when we managed to actually get a platform where we could sell their songs, they've made more money with us this week than they've made in the last 3 months under the Spotify corporations and YouTube, stuff like this. So we're actually making them more money. So if you want to fight back for the price of a coffee, you can show your appreciation to the Emily James Trio and the other artists in culture who are basically risking, it's a risk now. To speak out, there is a risk that, you might not get gigs, like we've just been cancelled, and other things. So they're very brave. Those 4 actors in that play, they're the frontline fighters now. They're trying to put on a play that they love, and they're being cancelled. So that's what the frontline fighters are looking like now, culture, freedom fighters. So if you want to come to the play, show your defiance, come to the play. It's going to be cheap anyway. We just got to find another venue, and then there's one we're waiting on who might take us, and they're a community that used to be a communist community in the past. So I think they're looking to get behind us, so waiting to hear. But you can support these artists. Everyone, all of the artists are making money, so huge support to everyone.
I just love the idea. I just love the idea of a war that's being fought by artists. You know,
That's right.
it's like Monty Python-esque. You know, the guy that reads the joke to the Germans. You know,
That's right.
the joke that kills, mind you. Our jokes won't kill. Our jokes will save lives. You know, and I just, you know, it's just like, it's hilarious, really.
Yeah.
It really is
Well,
hilarious. And the fact
I'll
that
tell
they-
you the top 10. It's Peaceful Warrior by Al Muir. Now, Al Muir has been selling songs. He's had that song for a while. It's done nothing. Nothing Rhymes with Trudeau, which is the joke one we did for the Canadians. Questions for God by Ben Atanyadis. A Victim by Matt Finlay. Oranges and Sunshine by The Love Generation. Rise Like Lions by Paul Seals is number 4. The Poetry of Chapel Street by Ben Antoniadis is number 3. Free Man by Matty Rogers, amazing song. We might play that tonight. That's number 2. And way out in front is Don't Welcome Me to My Own Country. So the people want to hear Don't Welcome Me to My Own Country, and the corporations and the government and everyone else is saying, no, you can't listen to that. Go listen to that song by that big fat American woman singing about a wet pussy. That's the pinnacle of your culture. That's what you're going to leave to the next generations.
I'm just wondering how, you know, some of our videos, the recordings, I mean, these are all very well edited and produced, but you know, compared to the big end of town, it's quite simple. It's just amazing what they do. But my point is, they could like we did. You did Jim Scott with like simple. It's all simple equipment. It's like you're doing a video from your phone, and suddenly YouTube is saying, this is infringing copyright. You're using words or you're using chords that people have used before. I mean, it's not really clear how they could invoke copyright in the situation. You know, you're doing a selfie, and it's like you do a selfie and you sing a song you've made up, and you know, it's really clearly censorship. And it's really clearly an overstep into ideological control, which is why I tweeted the CEO of Facebook today to say that you know, this is not good enough, and I think it could end up in legal challenge even.
I think that's the biggest problem, though, is the ambiguous nature of the language that they use. You know, as I pointed out in that, you know, first part of the dispute sequence, there is that it may have done this, you know, and it's them. There's no names named. There's no explanation as to how they've come to this conclusion. You know, clearly the information is wrong when they're saying 52 minutes when it's 16 minutes worth of songs, you know, and they didn't cut one out. So it's actually going to be less than that, you know. It's clearly some sort of algorithmic sequence, you know, and, you know, we're not even being put on trial by humans here. We're being put on trial by some sort of AI system that in itself is on trial. You know, it's a trial system, you know, and it reminds me so much of, like, I've been watching a bit of the old Star Trek Deep Space Nine lately, you know, and there's the race the Cardassians in there. For those who are Star Trek fans, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. They almost come off like, you know, the old German Nazi style people, you know, and anytime somebody gets accused of something, it's like, you know, what am I on trial for? That doesn't matter. What's important is that you'll be tried and sentenced to death. The trial is merely a formality and a show for the amusement of the public, you know. And if it wasn't for the shocking imagery and the manner in which the people are treated, you know, they're pulling their teeth out, taking hair samples and really treating them like dirt. You know, if it wasn't for that shocking imagery that accompanies this sort of construct, you'd laugh at just how stupid the idea is. Mm-hmm. But that's what's happening right here and right now. And how long before, oh, well, it's not just erasing your Facebook account, we're erasing you.
It sounds like communism to me. I mean, just look at history. This is see, when they censor you, it's sort of like killing you a little bit. It's like removing all history of what you've said and done, and making sure people can't hear you. I've really experienced that in the last couple of years. I still do. I feel something sitting heavily on my Twitter account. weird things. Like I love Tony Nikolic. Every time I type it into my suggestion bar, it never comes up. You know what I mean? It's like it selectively forgets certain people. So we're really being played, in so many different ways, and have been since the start. We're just becoming more and more aware of it, and every time they do it, I think we have to call them out. And sure, until they, pull the plug on the internet, and that's it, iris scan or no internet, and then we'll find other ways to communicate. We'll deal with the solutions until they bring in a central bank digital currency and say, that's it. You have to use your social credit score to buy your beer, and we'll find we will find other ways, and we will make other ways. It's heinous for what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's interesting. Sorry, go ahead, Michael.
No, I was just looking at some of the comments, that's all.
Ah, yes, the comments. Wow, 107 of them. Sorry, guys. I completely neglected all the comments. All righty then. I don't know that we'll start at the top. There's a whole bunch of g'days to everybody, and so many of the amazing usual people, Valerie's and Jan's and John's and Carol's and good old Susan from Scotland, who always seems to be here, what I consider must be an ungodly hour for you guys.
Hello, Susan. Hello, Susan.
So, we might want to address some of these questions because it's one of the things we did say. So what about the Anglican Church on St. George's Road, Northcote?
No, I've been banned from Anglican churches, Catherine.
So that's all Anglican churches. It's not just that one specific venue.
It seems there's being venue, but there's sort of a sense to it that forget it, don't bother. It's because they've had a big meeting with the upper heads, and this is lawyers doing this. So at the moment, that's what it looks like.
You're deplorable. You're deplorable, Michael. Clearly, and your play about life is, but it's discrimination. There's never been a time where this sort of discrimination flies.
I'm just looking at the comments as you keep talking.
I was just looking through. Get well, Robyn. I've noticed a few of those. Lots of people sending their love and respect, which is awesome to see. Such a beautiful community we have here, I think.
And so
that's an interesting one. Rumble is censoring big time. It is a controlled opposition, claims John. I'd like to see some examples of that. If you've got any, feel free to email me. I've not seen anything.
Seen any examples of that at all. No.
If anything, there was an article I did see the other day where the American government, and I think it might have been for some sort of tax thing, and they're going after Rumble again, trying to hit them at their hip pocket. So, if that is the case, they're putting on one hell of a show,
I like Michael Saunders' comment. Obviously, the wanker rhythms.
How far down the rung is that one?
Michael Saunders. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The wanker rhythms.
There's a few here. That's not that one.
No, it's further down. The wanker rhythms. Can Paul please explain the evidence? My local GP is always blabbing on about the jabs reduce severity. I'd like to argue back. Kat Robinson.
Okay. Interesting. If you look at my last Substack, I talk about a paper by Rintra.nl, a brilliant writer. Anyway, he makes the link that, how so many people said, I got the shot, and thank God I got the shot because I would have been sicker. Now, that may actually be true, but it's not good news, okay? Because we know these shots never stopped infection. They don't stop you transmitting it. So all the health rules were all BS off the bat. But unfortunately, one of the things we learned, and it's terrifying, is that you're getting it switching off of the immune system. So you normally the weapons you want, the antibodies that really will clear the virus, they're IgG1 and IgG3. And we've known for over a year that there's a class shift into IgG4. Now, this is like what the immune system does when what your immunologist would do if you're allergic to bee sting venom or dust mite. The allergist will give you more, very, very little at first, and then more and more and more until eventually your immune system says, okay, I'm not going to respond. Okay. So that's what immune tolerance is. And that's what we're seeing. So if you have no immune response to the virus, you're going to have less symptoms. You'll have less hospitalization. You will even have less death, because when your immune system sort of gives up and says, hey, I'm not going to respond, you do your thing. Go do the, like, Black Lives Matter. Go burn all the buildings you want. It's cool. It's cool. So there's no opposition. So, and he gives the example that mice that don't have have their immune system switched off, they don't die from COVID. It's the immune response, he argues, that, and I think he's right, that causes the thing. So a long way of saying, yes, it's possible, but it's not good news, and it's especially not good news in the light of an immune system which has been turned off, has been turned into tolerance. Because what happens is the virus just keeps going and going and going. And the virus itself is not benign. It's got the spike protein, and it will get into all the different blood vessels and it will do its harm. So I think I've answered that question. Read my last Substack, pauloosterhuis.substack.com. It has
even you don't say your name correctly.
I don't need to.
He knows who he is.
I just want to do another call out. I interviewed a man in Brisbane, Ipswich. I've interviewed him twice. His name's Gavin. He's a 60-year-old. He was working in a bottle shop, and he did an extraordinary thing. He needed to have a varicose vein operation. So they gave him a D-dimer test to make sure he was okay. Perfect. No blood clots. And then just before he had the operation, he thought, in listening to what he should do, that he'd take the AstraZeneca, Then he ended up in hospital full of blood clots from top to bottom, everywhere. He eventually ended up with one blood clot when I called him from his toe to way up past his thigh. And the government wouldn't give him any compensation. They wouldn't put him... they wouldn't even put him on a disability pension, saying he's not disabled enough, even though he was in incredible pain. He was paying about $400 a month or a week or something on pain medication because the pain was unbearable. When I went up to interview him last time, he had an enormous ulcer on his leg and another one forming. And he was just this lovely, simple, decent, hard-working Aussie guy that was trying to get by. And then he was living off his daughter, who was really, who wasn't making much money either. She's trying to keep him going. Anyway, I was going to do an interview with him in 10 days. He was trying to have an appeal for his disability pension so he can live, because he's not getting enough money to live. He doesn't know what he's going to do. Well, I've just been sent a thing to say he's had a huge heart attack and he's in hospital. So I'll give him a call after the show. But this is what's happening. And you know what's really, really, really interesting? You're socially not allowed. It's socially unacceptable to ask if somebody dies suddenly or they're injured to go, were they vaccinated? You're not allowed to ask that. But when the real bullshit was going on, if you wanted to go get a coffee, some 16-year-old waitress going, are you vaccinated?
So, show us the QR code. Show us the QR code of compliance.
Yeah, and we're here because the public keeps accepting the unacceptable. The only place I see defiance is when you go to Coles and you've got those people that, and for some reason, that I think what they do in Coles, they go around and they have a running race. And whoever's last, like the person that takes like 5 times longer than everyone else to cross the finishing line, they put that one on the till because they sit there like this. And that's all to try and get you to use those things. Yeah. And you think, screw it, and you just sit there with your things waiting. And it's in those lines where you meet freedom fighters. They go cash. And I go, hey, you going? Freedom money. They go, yeah, this. And then they go, yeah, I'm vaccinated too. That's where you meet them. That's where we hang out. We hang out in the line that's trying to defend humanity and our kids' jobs, these jobs, while you mongrels are just going in there like, oh, look, I can fit this. And now we were there the other night, and I just refused to do it. The girl actually did it for me. And they can come up with a camera in live time. So say, Paul, you go in, you buy something and it doesn't work. They come up and in lifetime in the camera, they go back and say, see, you didn't scan that one. You're a bad person. So they're treating you like a criminal. They're making you do their work. They're not giving you any discounts. And what do? You just take it up the ass. That's what you do. And then when they cancel your artist, what do? F all. I'm sorry, but this is it. This is it. The battle is on right here, right now. And you're going, everything's gone back to normal. No, it hasn't. It hasn't. It just hasn't. You've just got so used to accepting the unacceptable that now accepting the unacceptable is normal. And here's where we are. G'day, Clark. How you going, brother? Sorry.
It's
Stick
no,
a
you're
question
right.
mark on the end of that and continue the conversation.
And similar to that explanation about, becoming immune to diseases and whatnot, we seem to have become immune to this fucking sick way of society. So many people just, oh, well, that's just the way it is, And as we were discussing on last night's show, it's amazing how quickly things have changed. Like, I'm only in my 40s. James, the drummer, he hasn't even hit 30 yet, and he's noticed a big change in that. Culture. And, I remember, when I was a kid, we could survive on one wage. Mum and dad paid off a house with one average factory worker wage, no big bucks coming through our door. We survived on that. Now we're relying on, the government to give us communist daycare centers so our children can be raised by the state. We're relying on, cheaper prescriptions to fill out my drug addiction. We're relying on the government to do all these sorts of things, for free and cheaper housing for those who can't afford it. Like, this society should be.
You're from Queensland, aren't you, Batty? You're from Queensland.
Well, originally from Melbourne, but I'm in Queensland now.
I understand that more than half the population work for the government in Queensland. It's already had a communist takeover. I mean, when more than half your population work for the government, you're going to tend to do what the government wants. I mean, it's not as bad as Canberra. Canberra is like 90. I don't know. It seems like. I don't know what the percentage is for Canberra. I presume it's higher than for Queensland. But they were shocking when we were there during Epic. It was almost like, they were the Bedford wives but they weren't happy Bedford wives. They were really bitter, unhappy Bedford wives.
That's communism.
They were obviously getting mistreated and didn't like seeing freedom people.
Yeah, it's a form of Stockholm syndrome, I think. It's amazing how people, you can clearly see they're not happy. They're miserable in their existence, but don't dare point out that I'm miserable. There's some sort of comfort in that. They cling to it like it's a teddy bear or, Lionel out of Peanuts with his bloody blanket,
Yeah. Just some people asking now. Look, Robyn has been sick for about 3 days. She's had a migraine that's not going away. She's so they don't know what's wrong. So she's doing scans. She's in the hospital now doing scans, and so we're just hoping she's fine. And I don't want to say any more because I don't know what else to say except we love her to death, and she's an amazing. She's absolutely amazing. She's a true find for Café Locked Out. She should actually be on mainstream thing having her own show because she's so much fun. She's perfect for it because she actually believes in liberty. She's on Café Locked Out. And so your thoughts to her, get on her page, get on her Facebook, send her some love. That's what she needs.
Definitely. And it's a personal thing for her. And when she comes back, maybe she'll be more inclined to explain what's happened and all that sort of thing. For now, it's just we just want to send our love and our best to her and hope she gets well soon. So I'm sure everybody's really curious and everybody wants to know. Just a bit of patience, and if she wishes to share that, then she will.
Yeah. Batty, did you see Michael's interview on the Canberra Community Radio?
I caught the first part of that actually.
Yeah. I want to ask about, again, just what's a liberated artist? I mean, you gave a great answer, but it's
Yeah, we said. Yeah, I think the guy said, What do you mean a free artist?" I think is, and what it is the reality is, and this is reality. I think Australia has forgotten how important artists are in the community. It's become like, oh yeah, the hobby, they do something, oh yeah, like, yeah, good, nice song, big deal. But if you look back at the Great Depression, who are the people we remember? It's Banjo Patterson. And who's the second artist? Banjo Patterson was another one. And but the guy that sung who wrote Waltzing Matilda. And we still recite those poems. You go to poetry readings and they're still doing. That's how important those artists were. And I truly believe that art is our soul's self-healing tool, but it only works if the artist is free. And by free, I mean free to express what's coming out, not trying to do so they don't offend anyone, not trying to tick some government agenda or gender diversity things. And that's what I think is really important, and that's what I think we need, because like good art can remind us that our souls are connected, but great art can actually get our souls in tune. And that's where we all see, and you see a stadium where they all sing together. That's why we like choirs. That's the importance of art. And right now, we've been through this oppressive time, and we're still going through it. It's the fertilizer for great art, and that's what we're trying to do with culture. So the artists coming on are learning how to write entertaining songs about things that matter. They're learning their way, and we have to support them on that journey, because further down the road, maybe tomorrow, maybe 3 months, maybe a year from now, one of them could write the song of our time. And they'll do that by failing their way there, learning their craft, learning just trial and error. And the more we support them, better chance that is of happening. And also, culture is paying them more than they've ever been paid, than Spotify or anything. So they're making more money now. And the reason that's important, because everyone goes, oh, it's all about money. It is, because it's called show business, not show charity. It's show business. And what happens is other artists out there be going, so I write bullshit songs like My Girlfriend's Left Me and She Hasn't. I'm just trying to write a love song that's a totally inconsequential, sentimental bullshit. But I really want to write about what's in me. And now we're offering you, well, if you want to write about things that matter, we can help support you. If you're in Melbourne, we might even do some videos for you like we've done for Ben. And we want to help support you, help you grow, help in your development. And if our community gets behind them and buys these songs for $5, then you're helping support us. So, you're actually, that $5 can go a long way, and $3 if it goes to the artist. And I tell you, I think on the weekend, we'll get to Sunday night show, want to find out how much we've made. So if you want to go to Café Locked Out, go to cafelockedout.com, tag culture, find the songs. Let's see if we can get it up as much as we can before Sunday, and then go to the artists. There you go. And that will send ripples through the artistic community, that suddenly liberated artists are making a better living than controlled artists. and
I like
and
I
that
like
is
that
way,
definition. I
way
like that
back in time.
definition. Liberated. That they're singing about things that matter, and by things that matter, we're talking freedom. You know, we're talking about um, bodily autonomy. We're talking about the things that actually you need to have
Yeah,
to not be a slave,
yeah.
to be an independent human with independent thoughts. Now, if you don't care about that, just plug yourself into the hive mind of the Borg and yell, resistance is futile, resistance is. But I tell you, there's a few of us that are not willing to be absorbed by the collective. And I've heard the resistance is futile, resistance is futile, resistance is futile. I don't believe it. I always knew
No.
that these psychopathic bastards are going to go down. It's just a question of how many people they're going to kill on the way. So the sooner we act, the better.
Can you bring up Connie Faye's comment? It's a bit up. She goes, I can't wait for songs about the corruption of today and it becomes a #1 hit in the future. I'm with you. And the other thing too, to all the artists out there, now is that you can continue to hide in the safety and significance, and this is on my bus, or you can strive to be great, because I've really come to learn that greatness is not a destiny, it's a choice. And even trying to be great is greatness within itself. And that's what we need. We need an army of greatness. We need our artists, whatever art you do, to rise up and try to figure out what the hell went wrong, where we are now, and question, if we're going this way, why are we going that way? Is there any other options open to us? You are the navigators for the community. You hold the mirror up to us so we can see ourselves and decide if we like the reflection or we want to change it. You don't have to have the answers. You just allow us to question ourselves. It's an incredibly important responsibility. And everyone said to me, one, no one would pay $5 for a song. Ba-ba, wrong. Everyone said to me, you'll never find anyone good. They'll all be shit. Ba-ba, wrong. I'm actually having to do 2 shows because I'm getting too much good material. And now we've got someone from America coming on. We've got the Love Generation with the Oranges and Sunshine, which just makes me smile. And so I think it could really,
Wiggles for grown-ups.
really grow. Yeah, Wiggles for grown-ups. All we need is oranges. My joy was, I've got a 21-year-old son who I adore, a huge respect for. But if you show him a song like that, he goes to death metal concerts and stuff like this, and he's got all his long hair, and he's watching it, and there's this bald guy going, all we need is oranges and sunshine, and he's sitting there, and then I said, you're nodding, and he went, yeah, this is good. And we say it's more infectious than COVID, and so this is it. And this guy drives. There's a song here called "Let's Have a Laugh." The anti-mask song down there is written by Matt Finlay. Matt Finlay drives a school bus. He lives in a small town down south from here, and he mows lawns, and he writes this satire in his songs that is so clever. And Stu McFarlane too, his is great. But just play a bit of this song. It's so funny. It's called the Anti-Mask Song.
I'll just quickly have a look at some of these comments that I
See if they claim copyright for that.
This is an important one that goes along with the story today. So she's come back and said she hasn't heard anything from Facebook. So, because I was unable to complain in any way, shape or form, I contacted Emily and she was kind enough to put in a complaint for us and assure Facebook that we were allowed to play her songs. But she hasn't heard anything back yet. Thanks for letting us know and keeping us up to date with the story. Wondering if you mind a younger audience in a drifting. I would bring my 11-year-old boy who was obsessed by art.
That'd be great, Kat.
So there's no age limit on your plays?
No. Oh, well, don't bring your baby. It's going to cry all through the play, but,
Yeah, more of a consideration factor
your
there than an
demented
age limit.
great-grandmother might not get it, but, apart from that, it's really funny,
Head administrator contact advise him. So apparently we can get to the head of Meta Australia, and there's the contact details. So that might be worth looking at. Thanks for that, Catherine.
Oh, that's really interesting. Thank you.
It's only saying 4 watching. I can assure you, we've got 186 according to the counter here. And
No, there's only 4, Aaron. There's you, Paul, me, and Batty. That's it. There's just the 4 of us.
So it's a private session today.
Just us, Aaron.
Is there any way Café Locked Out could get their own uncensored platform away from Facebook? I wanted to address that one because in one of my previous podcasts with Dave and Tom, there's the Living Free movement, which might be something that, where they have something like that going. They've actually set up their own social media platform that is a pay-to-play situation. Very, very different environment to Facebook and Twitter, where the only people on that community are people who want to be there because they're paying. So that's something that we can discuss a little bit later. Just sort of throw that
you haven't checked close. You don't know about Close Social, do you?
No,
we've done the same. We built that about a year ago. It's Close Social, and it's like Facebook, but it's completely ours. And the only problem we didn't have was we couldn't stream to it. And but yeah, look up. I think they're changing it to Culture now. But if you look up clo.social. It's exactly like Facebook, except Café Locked Out owns it. We just sort of have it in the backlog. What we're hoping to do is if culture takes off, then we allow culture artists to have their own page, and we will move there. So it's still there, but we haven't done it. But we did that when we were being constantly censored, and it was just becoming insane. So we did that as a backup. A great web designer mate of mine, the one who built Culture, he built it. And it's just.
Is it currently functioning?
I don't know. It's let's see. It's
so I just put CLO social in, and I'm getting disability services, and then there's obviously references to Café Locked Out.
And someone might put it in the thing, or they might have changed the name to. No, here it is. Look at CLO.social. Just put that.
Just punch it in. CLO.social.com.
That's it. No, nothing else. That's it. Just CLO.social.
Oh, CLO.social, no.com.
No.com.
Oh, yep, there it is. And I will just quickly share that so that everybody can see that, yes, it does exist.
Yeah, and if you log in, it's exactly the same. We've got a marketplace. We've got a marketplace. You have your own page. We got this chat function, absolutely everything. It's I don't know what went wrong with it. I was sitting there seeing what we can do with it, and we're hopefully going to change it to Culture. So this is where we can protect culture. So you can meet the musos here. They'll have their own page and stuff like this. And you can meet them. So it's sitting there, sort of a safety net. If they kick us off here and Rumble goes down, we've got our own backup here. I believe the servers are in Russia, so they can't touch it because Russia protects our freedom of speech. Put that in your joint.
Yeah, from one of the from one of the most communist-driven countries, I mean, the history of how that come to pass, for anybody who's ever interested, I highly recommend you look up the Bolshevik Revolution and have a look how that all went down. As, I think the most the standout moment of that is all who supported socialism as the Socialist Party came into power, and the sudden reality of the fact that most of them were all kicked to the curb because they weren't socialist enough for the socialists as they rolled out communism pretty much that day. So that was the very big history lesson there. But we'll keep cruising on through here.
Who's Daniel? Who's Daniel Meldrum? I don't recognize that voice. He goes, I think this must be a replay, probably. Yes, Daniel, it's a replay. We've got this new AI function now that can go forward in time. There you are. Hi, Daniel. Yes, this is a replay, Daniel. You were here last week. and we interviewed you then.
All that Star Trek I've been watching, I figured out
All three
how
of us
to
are
break
AI
through
things.
temporal mechanics.
See, that's it. Yeah. Now, hi, Daniel. Welcome aboard.
Okay, can't do much of that kind. But anyway, we were going to play a song, weren't we? We're going to do the anti-masking song.
The
Was
anti-vax
it?
song.
All right.
Listen with Matt Finlay just before you start. He wrote the song called "Victim," which has got a dance number. It's great. You know, it's about the society teaching our kids to be victims, and it's so clever. He's got another one called 15-Minute Prisons. Also, I actually think the kid's a little genius. And not the kid, sorry, I can't answer that, Daniel. It's you have to wait for the new show. And then he's got this one. He does the videos all himself, and just listen to it. It's fun. It's great to listen to. What culture is doing is finding all these people who are reinventing how to create protest songs. We got 12-bar blues, we got hip hop, we got old traditional folk, all manner of stuff, and it's so inventive and creative, and that's what's beautiful about it. And that's what's beautiful about art when it's free. Get it? Have a listen.
Free as in unchained. I mean, it's liberated. Yes, it's unchained. It's unchained. I suspect that these artists are great, and
me too.
And it's not much to ask for, $5 to show some support for someone who's done a great piece of art. I mean, the idea that a social media company should come in and put its foot on art is a bit like saying they're going to put a foot on the psyche of Australians and what they can say and what they can express. And we're over that. We've had multi-years of censorship and propaganda, and it's sort of like growing up through the cracks anyway. But it is important that they make a little bit of money, because you know why? Even though I don't think that's a motivation to do anything, they're so that's their power. Through economic control, they say you say the wrong thing, you lose your job, you lose your ability to. The next thing, you're going to end up living on the street because you can't pay the mortgage, and it's all about economic things. So they desperately want to prevent, God forbid, some sort of freedom or liberated artists actually making money from their message. It's a very interesting model, and it's completely.
They want to stop the Renaissance.
Oh yeah, but they're out of luck. It's coming. It's coming like a storm. They just have. But they will try. They will try.
Yeah.
And they will continue to.
It's been a work in progress. Like, I mean, having played in, we'll play the song and we'll talk more afterwards.
Test, but it's been almost 4 years now. It's time that you caught your breath. I see you driving all alone with that blue square covering your face. It don't make no sense. I don't know what I don't know. When you wear that mask, it got me so confused. You must have drank the Kool-Aid from the evening news. A symbol of compliance from the consummate slave, broadcasting your fear for it to spread and propagate. When you wear that mask, protects both you and me, but it's fine when you sit down or you eat. I'm trying my best to follow the science, but it keeps leading me back to the money. Well, ain't that funny? It seems that most people have their price. And when you wear that mask enough to drive a man insane, you must have left your testes at the Rainbow Parade as a symbol of compliance from the consummate slave, broadcasting your fear for it to spread and propagate. When you wear that mask, take that off your face. Of what they said, or of what other people might think. Or will you try to claim the high ground with virtue signaling? Or do you like to try and hide? Or does the crowd make you feel strong? It's all a lie. If you're still blind, then there really must be something wrong. Cause when you wear that mask, you've got my sympathy. You must be really sick or really cowardly to be a symbol of compliance from the consummate slave, broadcasting your fear for it to spread and propagate. When you wear that mask enough to drive a man insane, you must have left your testes at the Rainbow Parade as a symbol of compliance from the consummate slave, broadcasting your fear for it to spread and propagate. When you wear that mask, when you wear that mask, when you wear that mask, when you wear that.
There was a great comment there from Marla Singer, where she said they've tried to start a cultural revolution with a C. No, back a bit.
One.
Yeah, it's just Marla. That's a great comment. I wish you'd send that to me. It's back. They wanted to force their cultural revolution on us, but instead it has awakened a real cultural with a K revolution, and it's not going to stop. It was Oosterhuis, who suggested we do it with a K. It's a very clever idea. And some woman, I've had 2 women send me these long emails, like epic emails, and I don't read epic emails. I just look at them and go, ugh. And I just glanced through it, and they were going all the reasons why K is so bad, how all the people it offends, and this and this. And I replied back to both of them. So they said, "So why did you use it?" And I replied back, "Well, I think it looks cool, and I don't really give a fuck what you think." And and this is art. You know what I mean? This is it. If it's made you write that much of a thing, it's working. So, but there. And now, if you want to support Matt, we're trying to get him on stage. He's trying to get his stuff together, come on stage. He writes lots of songs, and the
link to the culture page is in the description for anybody who wants to purchase that song. And you're too lazy to figure it out. Just look in the description.
There you go. Go there and support him. He's been writing songs for 3 years, made 0, and he still doesn't stop doing it because he's a true artist. And so he's worthy of support. So go there and buy it. So tomorrow we'll get to the Sunday show, and then I want to find out how much they've made, and I'll let them know. And,
Do you know, Michael, I was just thinking that an army consisted of artists is very hard to defeat because they run off the smell of an oily rag. They're used to not making any money from their art, and in this war, they're precious. You know, they're precious. They're precious because we've tried all the data. I mean, people can ask me about data. I've been talking about data for years, but it's time to get to people's hearts. You know, it's time to reach reach their compassion, their love, their logic. Remembering basic ethics that was jettisoned during the propaganda fear campaign, and realize actually if we don't learn that, if we don't recognize that, it's coming back, and it's going to be worse. It's going to be incredibly bad for all of us.
Yeah.
So it's the right time. One world government is ready to click in through the WHO and the international health regulations. All we have to do is sit back and let them do what they're planning to do.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, Paul.
Yeah, and all we have to do, not to the best way to wake people up is through art.
Yeah, I was going to do a big. If you want to buy that song, and you say you work in a workplace, sneak it in and try stick it in the music that they usually play. Get them dancing to it before they know what they're singing to. I just want to big a call out to Eric. Eric is he's bigger than you, Paul. He's a giant Viking. I believe he's from Holland. He's a great guy. And when he picks me up, I feel like I'm a 2-year-old kid. He just lifts me up. We even had the bus's door was jammed once, and like 4 of us trying to fix it. And he came along and said, "What's wrong with us?" "Oh, we've got to get a crowbar." And he just went, just lifted it up. He's a gorgeous freedom fighter. I love the guy. But there was another woman who said, "Can we buy the crime?" Now, Paul was the other guy that met Jim. We had him on stage. Unfortunately, Jim has decided he's not up for the fight just yet, so he's moved into the background, and he doesn't want to participate just yet. So that's the thing. If you're joining us as an artist, it's not just posting the songs. You will have a chance of maybe being censored. You're actually joining a front-line cultural war. And so if you're not up to going on stage maybe and singing the songs yourself, then have a consideration whether we can get people to cover the songs. So if you're not a singer-songwriter or you're a poet or something like this, and we're after art of all sorts, but people are sending us pictures of sculpture at the moment and other things. We're doing theater. It's as we move forward, maybe novels as well. But if you are a singer and you want to participate, but you don't write songs, get in contact with us. We have maybe some of these songwriters will let us use their songs, because we want to get to live shows. We want to get to small venues, get these live shows on, and basically book them out and have some of the great places, just a really great night. The other thing too, while I'm on, if we're in Melbourne, we've been cancelled. We were going to put a drifting on in the Hawthorn Anglican Church, but they've cancelled us. And so we're after another venue. We are talking to one at the moment. We're hoping that'll come through. But if you know of a venue or some hall somewhere that's cheap, please get in touch with Café Lockdown, because we need it. We need it by the 14th. We're going to put it on somewhere. Even if I put it on in a park, it's going to go on. And we've got all the equipment we need to do it. So it's going to go on, but I would prefer to be under shelter. So if you know of a place, reach out to us. And the thing about putting the play on is we want to tour it. And that's why it's very cheap to put on, because we want to take it around and let the actors and myself and Café Lockdown draw some income from it while we're trying to stir up the hornet's nest.
Michael, they better be careful, because if they continue to be obstructive, we're going to have to bring out the comedians.
Yeah, well, Ryan is going to open the show, and he shared with me today.
I'm serious. The comedians are coming. I can feel it. There's so much to take the piss. They're like about to explode.
Yeah.
We're going to unleash the comedians. I warn you.
Ryan told me today that he's opening the show. He's going to do a speech about the warnings about the play, and he read me out it today. It's so fucking funny. It's worth coming just to see Ryan. The other thing
this idea of Martin's, like when you do a stand in the park, Michael Gray
actually, that's what we'll do. If we can't find a venue, we're going to a park. Now, the other thing too, even if someone's got the other thing too is I think it's time for Café Lockdown. We're also looking either for a cafe, some little cafe that's up for lease that hasn't been using, that we can actually get it as the first Cafe Locked Out. I think it's time to get somewhere solid. There's Cafe Locked Out. We can have music going on there, conversations like this happening. We'll do the podcast from it. And I think people need a shelter from the storm, and that's what Cafe Locked Out's going to be. So this is what we're looking for moving forward, even if I have to sell the bus to do it, as long as she doesn't.
And make it look like a 1950s diner so it can match the AI image. I want a 1950s diner. Okay.
When we do it in North Queensland, I want it to look like fucking Crocodile Dundee pub sort of stuff. Walkabout Creek pub. That's the way I reckon we should do it.
I just want a place. I don't care what it looks like. Maybe it's a warehouse. Maybe it's just some, whatever. We just want a place where people can come and hang out. And then we'll do and Ryan wants to do comedy shows from it. So like a Tuesday night or a Thursday night, it's real comedy, not woke comedy, real comedy.
It's hard to get cancelled from your own venue. So
Right.
I think it's time for Cafe
The Bikies have got their own venue, and I've been to some of these bikie
that's not very
venues
nice,
in the
Michael.
past, I must say.
No. We need the bikies. That'd be great.
Yeah. I mean, the coppers turned up every hour to come and check the same people's liquor licenses. Like, well, you just checked it. I've got one, but it just they will still harass you as best they can. But at the end of the day, like the whole time I was there, I can't remember which clubhouse it was, somewhere in Bayswater. And again, it was in a factory complex, and one of the pubs I used to play in back in Bogan Nation days was Bondi's Barn, which is right at the back of a factory complex. Actually started out as a strip club. And yeah, we used to play gigs there, of course, and it wasn't the only strip club I played. That's just how you roll, especially when your band's called Bogan Nation. But, what I wanted to say earlier, was, so often I come across in those times people who were self-censoring. And even myself, I think I found myself guilty of the self-censorship. Oh, we don't want to say that because, we might not get that pub, or, that place might not have us if we say this or we say that, and instead every time there was some sort of, a flood or a fire or whatever, oh, we're going to do that as our flood relief gig. Everybody would flock to these kind of things, in an effort to sort of virtue signal as best you could to try and get people through the door.
Sorry.
Sorry,
I was just answering a comment. Sorry, Batty.
No, you're right. What was that one? This comment here, was it?
Yeah. So he said it's sold out. Like it's sold out. Like you can't get in. Sorry, Michael. Yeah, I get it.
No, fair enough. Yeah, better than you're a sellout sort of thing. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, that's right.
Do you know what I love? We don't have to talk all the time because we've got so many songs we can put on.
That's right.
We should put on another song.
Well, I'm going to have to go anyway.
It's time. It's a shame.
What's that? I was going to say, before we do, there was a few people who were saying they're having trouble finding the songs, and the link is in the description. Like, if you look in the description, wherever you're looking at this, it's just down there. Maybe you've got to click see more or something like that. I'm pretty sure it's like the first link is the culture link. You just click on that and we'll take you straight there, and you should be able to follow the directions from there. If not, shoot us an email and we'll sort it out for you.
No, but just go to cafelockedout.com, the website. And if you haven't subscribed, you'll be on the mailing list. Join our mailing list. So join cafelockedout.com, and there's a tag there called culture with a K. Tag that, and then it'll come down. There'll be a red slash that says browse all the songs, and just go there, and there's all the songs.
So this is cafelockedout.com. Straight away, you can join the mailing list. It just pops up. You don't even have to try. This is what the website looks like. And this little tab here, we just click that. And look, there you go. Purchase songs now. And it takes a little while to load, apparently. Everything else loaded really quickly except that page. Liberated artists. Probably because there's just so much great content on there. It took a little while.
Don't welcome me to my own country is the number one.
Yeah.
So, but there they all are, and they'll be growing. We have more joining us this week. I've got a
And we just
very
click on
special guest
this
coming
this
on.
button. I'm assuming I haven't actually followed this procedure. So if I
Yeah,
click on
yeah,
this,
it's easy. You just
Yeah.
you just
Easy
negotiate
peasy.
the price. That's interesting. I didn't realize.
Can I
we had
tell you
that.
something funny about that? We someone wanted to negotiate the song "Nothing Rhymes with Trudeau," and I felt like I saw it. It said to Cameron, and I thought this is my response. I thought you're going to negotiate $5. Go f yourself. Anyway, I opened it up to see what they offered, and they wanted to offer $10 instead of $5. So I took the deal. I said, "Yeah, okay."
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. So the negotiation of the price only goes up.
Yeah. So if you want to donate more, to these
Yeah.
artists, hit the negotiation button and say, "Screw 5, I'm going 10." And in the next few weeks, as we get more organized, we're running on empty here. So if you're in Melbourne, you want to help us, it'd be great. We're going to get albums together. What we might do is get the shows as albums. Like the first show, what really cracked it, number 9. That's when we started selling songs. We might put all the songs of that on one album, because that was the real one to do. And so we are getting with that soon, and so we will be getting albums together too as we go ahead. But and other things and culture. Oh, can I send you this, Mark? Did I send you the kangaroo?
Via email, or is that in the?
I'll just have a look before I go. Let me get Gmail. So we're looking for.
So I forgot to turn off YouTube. I just realized we're getting YouTube comments. I better turn that off. I'm probably about to be banned from YouTube now. If you're still watching us on YouTube for whatever reason, you really should come to Rumble. Sorry, my intention was to open the show with get away from YouTube, and I forgot all about telling YouTube to go F itself. So I better do that now, because it's just a mouthpiece for the New World Order. So sorry guys, I'm going to remove you.